So how and where do tsunamis occur?
Tsunamis occur by underwater disturbances in the ocean. They can be caused by volcanoes, earthquakes, landslides, or even meteorites. "75% of tsunamis are made by earthquakes around the edges of tectonic plates. When an earthquake strikes, massive cracks open, releasing shockwaves of momentum. When an earthquake causes a sudden shift in the seabed, the displacement in the water creates giant chains of ripples, which makes a tsunami. Tsunamis can also be created by landslides, where the great force plunges into the ocean, creating waves, which cause a tsunami. Tsunamis can also be caused by volcanoes. Volcanoes produce a thing called pyroclastic flows. Pyroclastic flows is a dense mixture that consists of rock, ash, and hot gases. The large amount of mixture dives into the ocean, generating energy in the water. Pyroclastic flows are like avalanches, but instead really hot, toxic, and moving at 100 kilometers an hour. In a rare scenario, tsunamis can also be caused by meteorites. This is the same effect as throwing a rock into water. The ripples created generate waves, which makes a tsunami. Unfortunately, there's been no record of this occurrence. Nice throw, Leon. Thanks, Leon. 80% of all tsunamis are created around the borders of the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is a tectonic plate. It has constant shifting, producing volcanoes and earthquakes. 2011. The Japanese tsunami. The devastation. The shock. 18,550 deaths. 6,145 injuries. $310 billion worth of damage. An earthquake magnitude size of 9.0. It's Japan's largest tsunami in history and fourth largest in the world. These giant walls of water towered at 3 to 40 meters high. The tsunami demolished towns and flooded 10 kilometers inland. The tsunami damaged several nuclear reactors in that area. Primary effects of the tsunamis were flooding, property damage, deaths, destroyed boats, destroyed crops, broken pipes, panic, and fallen power lines. The secondary effects of tsunamis is no shelter, homeless people, water contamination, nuclear accidents, radiation. The tertiary effects of tsunamis were disease spreading, starvation, town rebuilding, psychological problems, and ocean pollution.
Primary effects of a tsunami are death and injury, loss of possessions and homes, damage to infrastructure, deforestation, and floods. Secondary effects of a tsunami are disease, trauma and stress, reduced access to food and water, loss of crops and food, homelessness, delay in elective medical procedures, and damage to nuclear power plants, which makes release of nuclear substances. Tertiary effects of a tsunami are financial ruin, unemployment, loss of businesses, economic decline, and pollution to the ocean. The effects of a tsunami are loss of animal and human life, loss of possessions and homes, disease, trauma, we have stress and infrastructure damage, reduced access to food and water, homelessness, financial ruin, loss of crops and food, unemployment, loss of a business, injury causing hospitals to be full, resulting in untreated patients, deforestation, damage to power plants, such as nuclear material release, floods, and economic decline. "30 kilometres beneath the seabed and 240 kilometres off the coast of Indonesia. An earthquake measuring 9.0 on the Richter scale jolts the sea floor for 10 minutes. 500,000 injured. Damage exceeding $1 billion. 155,000 deaths. Five million people lost their homes and had limited access to food and water. Animals such as elephants are said to have sensed the earthquake in between minutes before the first wave had struck. The tsunami actually travelled 3,000 miles to reach the shores of Africa. The tsunami itself struck several different countries, and the pressure of this earthquake had been building up for thousands of years. The energy is said to be equivalent to 23,000 atomic bombs. The tsunami still had a lot more damage to deal on Indonesia, such as damage to infrastructure, disease, hunger, economic damage, shortages of food and water, and permanent psychological damage. Here a photo shows us the epicenter of the 2004 Asian tsunami and what countries were affected.
Prepare an emergency route from your home, workplace or school. Tsunamis are a series of waves, so don't return to the coastline until authorities advise you to. Always listen to local radios if there's any unexpected tsunamis coming. Collect essentials such as food, water and first aid. How to protect your property from a tsunami. Try to build or buy a house 100 meters from the coast. Raised houses will decrease damage because most tsunami waves travel under 3 meters high. Talk to an engineer for more advice to make your home more tsunami proof. Learn if there's a possibility of a tsunami in your area. If you are conscious of this, you should practice your escape route in your area. There's a tsunami! When a coastal earthquake occurs, crouch down and hold on to something. When the earthquake stops, it is an indication that a tsunami is arriving in a few minutes. Evacuate as soon as possible to higher land. Avoid power lines, buildings and bridges. After the earthquake, immediately go to higher grounds. Do not wait for the tsunami warning to be issued, otherwise you will not have enough time to evacuate. When in a boat, the safest thing to do is to move away as far away from the shore. Carry any pets with you, such as cats and dogs.
Governments and authorities do many things to prevent the effect of tsunamis. Governments have initiated the DART, Deep Ocean Assessment and Reporting of Tsunamis system. They have ocean floor BPR detection software that is capable of picking up tsunamis 1 centimetre high, so people and places in danger can be warned. Receiving real-time communications from a buoy floating on the ocean surface for action to be taken. Satellite observation, helping authorities predict the path the tsunami will travel in order to minimise damage. And create evacuation plans for any endangered persons to follow.
displacement in the water creates a giant chain of ripples, which makes an earth tsunami. Tsunamis are supposed to be created by landslides, where giant forces flooded 10 kilometers inland. The tsunami almost tsunami warning to be issued, otherwise you will not have enough time to escape.
What?